Today we're in Paris, France at the Park Hyatt Paris.
We are super excited to be in Paris. It's one of our favorite cities in the world, and we can't wait to tell you all about our trip. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Max.
I'm Marin.
And we're Voyager Guru. We post weekly videos with travel tips, hotel reviews, and videos from some of our favorite destinations around the world. So if you don't already, consider subscribing. And if you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up. It really means a lot to us. All right, so let's jump right into our review.
Our first category is location. And location we rate 5 stars. We're in the Vendome area and it's absolutely perfect for shopping, sightseeing, and everything else you need in Paris.
Yeah, this hotel is so centrally located, it's incredible. I mean, almost every single restaurant that we went to with our friends was in the local area. They were staying at the Peninsula, which is a little further over towards the Arc de Triomphe, also an amazing location. Most of the areas we went for restaurants were actually in our neighborhood, and so that was pretty cool. We were coming over here, there was also great shopping in our neighborhood. This area is actually known specifically for its shopping.
First Chanel store that ever opened is in this neighborhood.
Along with a whole host of other retailers and retail stores, in particular luxury jewelry is a big part of the Vendome area as well. This square was first developed by Louis XIV with the Vendome statue in the middle. It then got torn down through a number of different wars. It was rebuilt by Napoleon using the cannons of enemies. So it does have a really cool history, and there's a lot of things that have happened in the Vendome area. And I think just in general, it's a fun place to walk around. It just makes everything about it just makes you feel like you're really in the heart of Paris. So we've really enjoyed staying in this location.
And the Louvre is only about a half mile away, which is right on the river as well.
You're also right next to where the Opera metro station is, so you can jump on the metro and get pretty much anywhere in Paris. We used it to hop out to Versailles. That was a nice, easy way to go visit the city. But of course, there's also a lot of other transportation options. Obviously, you can take Uber as well as taxis. Just like a lot of cities now, there are scooters everywhere, there's bikes that you can get. So really, the transportation options are endless. Our second category is lobby and check-in.
Lobby and check-in we rate 4 stars. The Park Hyatt is actually pretty unassuming when you pull up to the block. There's a small door, a bellman, and there's actually a long, narrow hallway to get through to the lobby. So it doesn't have that same grand entrance that you would expect from a lot of hotels in Paris.
Yeah, I think that's a really important thing to know when you're booking here, is that if you're looking for really grand, elegant entrance that a lot of Parisian hotels or European hotels might be known for, that's not what you're going to be getting at the Hyatt. But it is worth noting that when they actually designed this hotel, they designed it with a private residence in mind rather than a transit hotel. And so the idea was to make it seem more like a very luxurious palace home rather than feeling like a hotel where you're kind of coming in and out. You're more welcome, and it's part of the kind of residential feel of it. And so a lot of the rooms kind of have that elegant, elevated Parisian style that has more of a residence feel to it.
We booked this hotel with Hyatt points. We are huge fans of Hyatt, as you can probably tell from our other Hyatt videos. This hotel is 30,000 points, so it is on the higher tier of the scale. And when you book the room on points, you are given a standard room.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about Hyatt and how we book this on points at the end of our video, so make sure to stay tuned for that, because we'll give you a lot more details in terms of how we consider value here and what other available hotels there are on Paris if you are looking to book something with Hyatt points. Full disclosure, Hyatt does not pay us or ask us to promote anything about their credit card, but way before we started travel blogging, we had the Hyatt credit card, and it was one of the things that allowed us to travel as much as we do. And so it's really been something that we've always felt passionately about and are always happy to tell people all the reasons why.
We weren't able to check in early despite landing a little bit early because the hotel was on the fuller side. However, check-in was smooth. We were given our room within a couple of minutes.
As a note, unlike some of the other hotels that we reviewed while we were here in Paris, including the Peninsula, there wasn't a room tour or anything done like that, and so that's why we decided to go with 4 stars for the category of lobby and check-in. Our third category is rooms.
Rooms we rate 4.5 stars. Due to a series of somewhat unfortunate events, but good news for you, is that we were able to check out 3 different room types while on property.
Yeah, so we actually booked a standard room using our points, which is typically the highest level you're able to book with points, although do check out some of our articles because there have been times where we have managed to book suites on points. You can check that out in the link below.
So our first room type that we checked into was a standard room that was booked at 30,000 points. We were moved into a Park Deluxe suite, which is more like a junior suite. It has a fireplace that's not functioning. It's just a beautiful decorative fireplace. That was actually our favorite room. So we were there for one night, and in our last night, to make up for the first night's issues, we were actually moved to a larger executive suite. Now, of the 3 rooms, despite the one that we're in right now being one of the premium higher end room types, we actually much prefer the smaller junior suite due to the layout and the general feel of the room. So if you have the opportunity to upgrade your room, I would stick with one of those, and they are cheaper than the executive suite.
Yeah, I think the Park Deluxe Suite was definitely our favorite. It has an open layout. It doesn't have a separate 1 bedroom, but it does just have this really long feeling coming off from the bed. It goes all the way down to the fireplace that Maren mentioned. And something that we thought was super cool in the room was over the fireplace, they had this giant mirror that actually had the TV that came on behind it. And it totally made that entire living room space just look really elegant and just tied the whole room together. But you still had the TV that was like right behind that mirror. You just turned it on, and it really didn't impact the TV with a lot of glare. In reality, it was pretty much crystal clear once you turned it on.
And something to know about all of the rooms, the bathrooms are pretty much the same. The layout of the rooms depends a little bit on what type of bathroom you get, like if you have 2, like you have in this suite, which is a his and hers bathroom, or if you have 1 bathroom with the double vanity. Even the standard room that we were in did have a his and hers sink. Now, the bathroom was actually my favorite part of the room. I didn't personally love the actual bedroom portion of these rooms, but the bathrooms are spectacular with the gold hardware, and they really seem very updated and renovated.
Yeah, in general, there's a couple things that they do in the rooms here that I really like. They have ample closet space, and in every room, the standard room type up to this executive suite, all have kind of a his and hers version of the closets. The standard room had it in the same area, but they had the closet spaces separated. They also did have 2 sinks. And the second room that we were in, again, had a similar experience with a much bigger closet that had closets on both sides. And now this final room actually has 2 completely separate closets and bathrooms. So there's a separate walk-in closet on one side with a bathroom, and a completely other separate walk-in closet with a bathroom on the other side that has a makeup area with some nice lighting and another sink. It makes for a really nice place to get prepared, and particularly in Paris, you might be getting dressed and going out places. It's a really nice thing to have, I think, all that extra space for your clothes and getting ready.
The in-room technology is on the older side. That's not something that they have recently renovated, unlike the feeling of the bathroom. However, the light switches are all named, which is super convenient because we have no idea how to turn on and off lights in most hotel rooms. So there's literally master switches that are labeled master switch, living room, privacy, etc. So it's super easy to figure it out, but there are some inconsistencies there with the technology since the hotel is on the older side.
And speaking of those inconsistencies, when we talk about that, there's just certain things like master switches that don't actually turn off all the lights like they're intended to. The curtains here, it is kind of a nice feature. They do have a blackout shutter, like a storm shutter that comes all the way down that completely shuts off the room. They also have a nice drape that comes down in front of that. Now, in some parts of this room, the drape and the blackout curtain are actually triggered by the same switch, but in other parts of the room they're not. And so again, I think it's something that just with the age of the technology, there's a little bit of programming that's started to go a bit haywire. And so there's a couple of things that we've clicked here and there, and we're a little bit surprised about what the effect was.
Overall, the rooms are super elegant. They have hints of gold and beautiful mirrors absolutely everywhere, so it does make the rooms feel a bit more elevated.
Our 4th category is service.
Service, we rate 3.5 stars. Overall, the service has been fine. However, at a 5-star hotel, and particularly when we're comparing it to where our friends stayed at the Peninsula, the service is a little bit lackluster. And how they handled our little mishap the first night wasn't as great as we would have expected.
I think in general, when you're staying at a 5-star hotel in an area like Paris where everything is supposed to be top-notch, we're going to be a little bit more picky about service. And I think that's something to just say across the board. You might watch some of our other reviews where we're in Fiji or places like that, and we are very critical of service, but in particular, I think when you come to a city like Paris, you're in another major city around the world where you really do expect that top-notch service. I don't think that this Park Hyatt particularly met that.
We did have some really positive service experiences. For instance, we did have breakfast at the restaurant and our waiter could not have been nicer. The manager also did meet us the morning after we had a little incident with the electrical, and he was super kind, and they really did try and make it up to us.
The way they handled things after our small and somewhat insignificant issue were really, really well done from that point forward. It was kind of just the inconsistencies in the lead up that happened to that. The other big thing that we look at when we look at service is housekeeping. Housekeeping does unfortunately fall in that category for us, and I think that a lot of hotels do often fall short there. There were a number of inconsistencies between each room when it came to housekeeping. There were things that had clearly not been checked, clearly not been cleaned, and so I think in general, that's probably one of the areas where I would say the root of some of the issues is, as well as kind of the way the front desk handles escalations could definitely be done better. Our fifth category is dining.
Dining, we rate 4.5 stars. We've only had breakfast at the hotel so far, but it was excellent. As Hyatt Explorers and Globalists, you both get 50% off of breakfast and you get 20% off at the bar. Now, of course, that means the breakfast and the bar are slightly on the pricier side, so we really do appreciate this discount and we really enjoyed our dining experience.
Yeah, I will say if you do have any Hyatt status, it is a great perk to be able to get because getting 50% off the breakfast was awesome. Now, one thing to note is that does not count for the Sunday brunch. However, they did extend a 20% discount on the Sunday brunch. So if that's something you're looking to do, also something to know that you do have that benefit.
One of the restaurants on property also did just get a Michelin star, so the food quality is definitely elevated here at the Park Hyatt.
They also have one of the coolest experiences I've seen at really almost any hotel, where they've set up a small chalet in the middle of one of their courtyards. It's kind of like an old style French Alp chalet that has fake snow on top of the roof. And during the winter months, they have a private dining experience for a minimum of 4 people that's prefixed. It is quite expensive, I will say that, and that is one of the reasons that we did not do it. You get to have this wintry Alpine experience where raclette is the center of what they serve, and you get this fully private dining experience in a small chalet that they've set up literally in the middle of their courtyard. Very, very interesting, very different. I think that was a very cool experience that they've set up. Our sixth category is facilities.
Facilities, we rate 5 stars. Overall, they have exactly what you need for a great city hotel. They've got a gym, they've got a La Mer spa, they've got a number of different restaurants. The spa does have a steam room that you can use and shower, so if you do arrive early or have a later flight and are leaving later, you can access the spa for free.
They do have live music down in the bar 6 nights a week as well, so that's a great experience. Mostly every night that you're going to be here, you can go partake in that, and frankly, it was absolutely lovely. And our final category is style.
Style, we rate 4.5 stars. Overall, this property has really Parisian vibes. It exudes the elegance and the opulence that we love about old school Paris. However, it is a little bit inconsistent across the property given the lobby is super small, but in the rooms, it is very, very clear.
You don't quite have the grand lobby experience, although there are a lot of really beautiful spaces that they've created. I think in particular, the restaurant where you eat breakfast has just a gorgeous atmosphere. It's got a big glass ceiling and lots of space, and in addition, the fireplace area where you can also eat just really has this nice flow to it. Big fireplace, lots of seating area. Overall, because of the layout of the hotel itself, everything does seem a bit compartmentalized with a lot of hallways, and so I think it doesn't really exude that big grand experience that a lot of people expect from luxury hotels in Europe in particular.
Overall, we rate this property 4.4 stars. We have had a great stay. We do feel like we got a really good value with our 30,000 points per night, and we did really enjoy our stay.
Say in particular, if you are looking to book this because you're part of any Hyatt program, booking it on points is a tremendous value. It's 30,000 points a night, and considering that the rates can go upwards of $1,000 a night for a standard room, you're really getting a good conversion on that value if you're looking to stay at a place in Paris. And oftentimes that can be really difficult to find an affordable room in the heart of Paris, particularly in an area where we are, in the center of Vendôme, which every other hotel in this area is also going to be in that price range. We're a block away from the Ritz. We're very close to the Mandarin Oriental. There's a number of very nice luxury hotels in this area. And for the price range of these hotels, I think being able to get a points deal at that rate, particularly when you compare it to other programs that you might be a part of, like Marriott, you're really looking at something that is almost unheard of.
Speaking of booking on points, Hyatt did just acquire a number of hotel companies, so they have opened up a number of options across Europe and in Paris in particular. So if you are looking at using points to book a stay in Paris, check out the new hotels on the website. You can get rooms for as low as 15,000 points in Paris.
And again, just as a quick reminder, this is not sponsored or paid for in any way by Hyatt. We do not have a relationship with them. We would love to if there's somebody from Hyatt watching this video. But outside of that, we really just have used Hyatt in so many ways. We really just have taken advantage of the Hyatt program in so many ways over the last 4 or 5 years, where it really has helped us travel a lot more and make our points go as far as possible. And so we've got a lot of other articles on our blog that talk about some of the other credit cards that we recommend, like the Chase Reserve or the Amex Platinum, but that Hyatt credit card is also a key part of our wallet because it gives us the opportunity to stay at places like this in Paris where honestly we wouldn't normally be able to afford.
So if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up.
And if you don't already, go check out our Instagram at VoyagerGuru. And of course, we've got links in the description below to our blog at voyagerguru.com. And if you ever have any questions, leave them in the comments below, send us a DM, our email's linked. Always feel free to reach out. We're more than happy to share any advice or information we have.
And of course, if you've stayed at this hotel and you have different opinions or have any questions about it, do let us know. We are always open to feedback. While we do try to judge these hotels as unbiased as possible, of course our personal experiences do come into it, so we'd love to hear about yours.
So we were only here in Paris for a weekend, but we were super excited to do as much as possible, so go check out some of our other videos. We did a great video about the top things that we did while we were here on this weekend, as well as a review of the Peninsula Hotel, where our friends were actually there for a full 6 nights. We were able to take their feedback as well as our experience at the Peninsula and do a full review on that one as well. So go check that out. Put it here in the top corner as well as on the end screen.
And as always, I'm Maren.
And I'm Max.
And we're Voyager Guru. See you out there.